Hello everyone, this is Chi and welcome back to my art space. In this video, I will review Himi's Semi-Moist watercolor set. As you can see, this set comes with a free brush, which is a really nice touch. There are 38 colors in this set and all the names are listed at the back of the palette. I personally knew of the brand Himi when their jelly gouache cups became viral many years ago, but I have not tried their watercolor sets. I also remember that back then, they are released in a different shaped palette and that I tried to get hold of them from Amazon, but the postage alone would cost me a lot. Here, I'm showing you the free brush that comes with the palette. It's a round brush and I think it's quite decent. As there are 38 colors to test, I would not name each and every one of them as I swatch it, but I did try to copy the shape of the palette on my swatch sheet. As you can see here with the glistening of the paints, it is semi-moist and quite tacky to touch, but I still sprayed it with some water to prep it. Apologies for my swatch sheet, it's drawn freehand and I could not use a ruler to save my life, so it's just a rough sketch of the shapes. Again, I am swatching on my 100% cotton caddy paper, which I find brings the best out of any watercolor paints that I try on them. I am actually impressed with the vibrancy of the paints. I did not expect it to be like this. I am liking it so far. You probably would not need all 38 colors, but sometimes it is actually fun to have so much at your disposal. As you can see, as I've said before, all the colors turned out to be vibrant. There are slight chalkiness to some of them, but it still comes out vibrant on paper. So on to my most favorite part, testing the watercolor paints by painting. I chose to paint a macaron this time because I actually like the pink in this watercolor palette, so let's see if I'm able to do it any justice. And I am still using my 100% cotton caddy paper. So far so good. I think the watercolors are actually very effective on this type of paper. You can also see that the watercolors are actually still quite vibrant even as I am using it on a painting, which I really like. One thing I have noticed though, so as I am painting this, I am actually taking some paints from the palette and transferring it to a ceramic palette so I can add more water to it. I have noticed that it dries quickly on the ceramic palette and I have to keep reapplying water just to keep it going. I can genuinely say that I enjoyed using the watercolor set while painting this piece. The semi-moist state of the watercolors means that it's quite easy to reactivate with water, and as I've said before, I was getting a little bit of paint and putting it on a ceramic palette and then adding more water to it so I can control the dilution because I don't want to contaminate the palette itself. So this set of 38 colors cost me £13 from Hobbycraft as they are doing their January sale. And I think that's a really good value for money. I also like the blending of the colors in this set. As you can see, it's quite easy and it doesn't turn out to be as murky as the other cheaper watercolor sets that I have. As usual, I love using my Posca paints to add those highlights to lend more life to this piece. And here is the nearly finished product. So let me bring out the brush again. So this is the free brush that comes with it. The Himi brush is exactly the same as the Craft & Mo's size 6 brush, which is really handy to use. This is the Risa watercolor I had from Temu, and this is the semi-moist watercolor set from Himi, and this is the Curlando watercolor set, which is very similar to Himi, but I think Himi is slightly better. Curlando tube watercolors is not better than the Himi. And then I also have the Rosa Gallery, which is professional grade. So all in all, I do recommend the Himi Semi-Moist watercolor set for practice paints and if you just want to have fun.